I'm sitting in our apartment well, it's not ours anymore. It's just mine now, empty, silent. 3 months have passed since Ethan left and I'm still holding his apartment key. He left it on the kitchen counter with no note, no explanation. Just the key and Maya Chen. I'm 26. And I destroyed the best thing that ever happened to me because I thought loyalty meant never questioning your best friend. It started 3 months ago when my phone rang at 9 p.m. Connor's name flashed on the screen. Maya? His voice was broken, sobbing. Sophie left me. She's gone. My heart broke for him. Connor had been my best friend since we were 12. We'd been through everything together. Come stay with us, I said without thinking. Just for a few days until you figure things out. I walked into the kitchen where Ethan was cooking pasta, humming to himself. He looked so happy, so peaceful. Ethan, Connor, and Sophie broke up. I told him he could stay here for a few days. His smile faltered. Just for a second. Then he nodded slowly. If that's what you think is best, he said quietly. I should have heard it, that careful, measured tone. I should have asked him how he really felt. But I didn't. I was already texting Connor back. Already planning which blankets to put out. Already being the loyal friend I'd always prided myself on being. I didn't know. I was making the biggest mistake of my life. Connor arrived on Friday evening with 2 suitcases and red, swollen eyes. I hugged him tight while Ethan carried his bags inside. I'll put these in the guest room, Ethan said. Actually, I stopped him. We're still repainting it, remember? I didn't mention that Ethan had been turning it into a surprise home office for me. He'd been working on it for weeks. The couch is pretty comfortable, Ethan suggested, looking at Connor. Connor glanced at the couch, then at me. He looked so lost, so vulnerable. You can share a bed, I heard myself say. We're all adults here. It's fine. I watched Ethan's jaw tighten. He set down the suitcases carefully, deliberately. Maya, can I talk to you for a second? His voice was quiet, controlled. In the kitchen, he turned to face me. I don't think that's appropriate. He can take the couch. It's comfortable enough for a few nights. I felt defensive immediately. Why was he making this weird? Ethan, he's my best friend since we were 12 years old. There's nothing weird about it. Don't be jealous. The words came out sharp, dismissive. I watched something shift in his eyes. I'm not jealous, Maya. He spoke slowly, like he was choosing each word carefully. I'm uncomfortable. There's a difference. It's just sleeping. We're not doing anything wrong. That's not the point. It's a few nights, Ethan. Don't make this into something it's not. I walked back to the living room before he could respond. Connor was standing there looking between us. It's totally fine, I told him brightly. Don't worry about Ethan, he understands. That night, I climbed into bed with Connor on my left and Ethan on my right. The bed felt crowded, tense. Ethan's body was rigid beside me, not touching me at all. I could feel his wakefulness, his discomfort radiating in the darkness. I didn't sleep much either. But I refused to admit I'd made a mistake. The few days turned into a week. Connor started joining us for everything. Morning coffee. Netflix at night. Even our Sunday grocery shopping. It's like we have a kid, Ethan joked one morning as Connor debated between 2 types of cereal. I laughed. But Ethan's smile didn't reach his eyes. On Monday, my coworker Rachel cornered me at the coffee machine. You look exhausted, she said, studying my face. What's going on? I explained the situation, expecting sympathy. Instead, her eyebrows shot up. Wait, you're letting another man sleep in your bed? Maya, that's... How does Ethan feel about this? Ethan's fine, I said defensively. And Connor's not another man. He's my best friend. Your best friend who's a man. Who's sleeping in your bed? With you and your boyfriend. Rachel shook her head. That's not normal, Maya. You don't understand. Connor's like family. Does Ethan think so? I walked away before she could say more. That evening, Ethan's sister Jessica came over. She was a lawyer, sharp and observant. The moment she walked in and saw Connor sitting between Ethan and me on the couch, her expression hardened. I heard you have a house guest, she said. Her voice cool? Connor's going through a rough time, I explained. He's staying with us for a bit. Interesting arrangement. Her eyes moved between the three of us. After she left, Ethan was quiet for a long time. Finally, he spoke. She's worried about me. She thinks I'm letting you walk all over me. That's ridiculous. I felt heat rising in my chest. I love you. Connor being here has nothing to do with us, doesn't it? Ethan turned to look at me fully. You're sharing our bed with him, Maya. Our bed. You barely touch me anymore. You defend him when he makes inappropriate jokes about us being domestic. You prioritize his comfort over mine. When does it become about us? I felt cornered, attacked by everyone. If you trusted me, this wouldn't be an issue. I do trust you, Maya. Ethan's voice was tired. I just don't trust the situation. And I don't understand why my feelings don't seem to matter to you anymore. They do matter, then why haven't you asked him to leave? Why haven't you set any boundaries? Why do I feel like a guest in my own home? I had no answer. So I said nothing. Connor walked back in from the kitchen, oblivious to the tension. What are we watching tonight? He asked tearfully. Ethan stood up. I'm going to bed early. You two decide. He walked away, and I told myself he was overreacting. 2 weeks after Connor moved in, I came home from work to find Ethan packing a bag. My heart stopped. What are you doing? He didn't look at me, just kept folding clothes with precise, careful movements. I'm staying at David's for a while. You're leaving? Over this? Over Connor? Now he looked at me. His eyes were different, empty of the warmth I'd always seen there. Maya, I've tried. I've told you I'm uncomfortable. I've asked you to set boundaries. I've been patient. But you keep choosing him over me. Every single time. That's not true. I love you. Do you? His voice cracked. Because love isn't just a feeling, Maya, it's actions. It's consideration. It's making your partner feel safe and valued. And you haven't done any of that for 2 weeks. I felt panic rising, choking me. Ethan, please. The bathroom door opened. Connor walked out in only a towel, hair wet from the shower. Everything okay? He asked, looking between us with false concern. Ethan laughed, a bitter, broken sound I'd never heard from him before. Perfect. Just perfect. He picked up his bag. I grabbed his arm desperately. Ethan, please. Don't go. I'll ask Connor to leave. I'll fix this. You should have done that 2 weeks ago. He gently removed my hand from his arm. You should have done it the moment I told you I was uncomfortable. But you didn't. You called me jealous. You made me feel like I was wrong for having boundaries, for having feelings. I'm sorry. I'm not jealous, Maya. He looked at me with sad, kind eyes. I'm heartbroken. And I'm done. I watched him walk to the door. Watched him open it. Watched him leave. The door closed with a soft click that sounded like the end of everything. I stood there, frozen. Connor put his hand on my shoulder. He'll cool down. He's just being dramatic. I should have heard the satisfaction in his voice. Should have seen the truth right then. But I didn't. I let him comfort me. Let him tell me Ethan was overreacting. Let him validate every terrible choice I'd made. 3 days passed. I called Ethan 17 times. No answer. I texted paragraphs of apologies. Nothing. Connor was still living with me, and I started noticing things. The way he smirked when I cried. How he'd casually say things like, Ethan always was too controlling. Or, you're better off without someone so insecure. On Saturday, someone knocked on the door. I opened it to find Sophie, Connor's ex. Is Connor here? She asked, nervous. He's out. Why? She took a deep breath. I need to tell you something. Connor didn't get dumped. I broke up with him because I found out he's been in love with you for years. He's obsessed with you, Maya. My blood went cold. What? He told me he was just waiting for the right moment to make you see that you were with the wrong guy. He planned this whole thing. That's not... He knew you'd take him in if he played the victim. Sophie pulled out her phone, showing me screenshots. He told me weeks before I ended things that he was going to finally shoot his shot with you. He said your boyfriend was too passive, that he'd break easily. I stared at the messages. Connor's words, Maya's always been mine. She just doesn't see it yet. Ethan's too much of a nice guy to fight back. This is my chance. Everything clicked into place. The inappropriate comments. The constant presence. The way he encouraged my defensiveness toward Ethan. The satisfaction in his eyes when Ethan walked out. I thought you should know, Sophie said softly. I'm sorry. I should have warned you sooner. After she left, I sat on the couch, staring at Ethan's number on my phone. What had I done? Connor came home that evening whistling, carrying Chinese takeout. I got your favorite. He stopped when he saw my face. What's wrong? Sophie came by today. The color drained from his face. She told me everything. About your plan. About you being in love with me. About you deliberately trying to break up me and Ethan. He set down the food slowly. Maya, let me explain. Get out. You don't understand. Get out. My voice broke. You manipulated me. You used my loyalty against me. You destroyed my relationship because of some sick obsession. His expression changed. The friendly mask fell away, revealing something ugly underneath. I did you a favor, he said coldly. Ethan was never good enough for you. He was boring, passive. I've loved you since we were kids, Maya. I've always been there for you. I deserve you more than he ever did. Deserve me? Rage burned through the pain. You don't deserve anything. You're manipulative, selfish, and pathetic. What you did wasn't love, it was control. It was sabotage. I gave you 12 years of friendship, and you destroyed it in 2 weeks. Pack your things and leave, now. He tried to argue, but I called my mother. She arrived with my uncle, and they supervised while Connor packed. His face was twisted with anger and humiliation. At the door, he turned back. You'll regret this. Ethan's not coming back. You've lost him, and now you're losing me too. You'll end up alone. The door slammed out. My mother hugged me while I sobbed. I ruined everything, I whispered. Yes, she said honestly. You did. But now you can start making it right. 2 weeks later, I sat across from Ethan at a coffee shop downtown. The same place where he'd asked me to be his girlfriend 4 years ago. He looked different. Tired, but lighter somehow. Thank you for meeting me, I said, my hand shaking around my coffee cup. I know I don't deserve it. He waited, saying nothing. Sophie came to see me. She told me everything about Connor's plan, his obsession, how he manipulated both of us. The words tumbled out. I was so blind, so stupid. You tried to tell me. You set a boundary and I trampled over it. You expressed discomfort and I called you jealous. You were patient and loving and I threw it back in your face. Tears streamed down my face. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I chose someone who was manipulating me over someone who truly loved me. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just needed you to know that I finally understand what I did. What I lost. Ethan was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was gentle but firm. I appreciate you telling me this, Maya, and I'm sorry Connor manipulated you. But that doesn't change what you did. Connor didn't force you to invite him to stay. He didn't force you to let him sleep in our bed. He didn't force you to dismiss my feelings repeatedly. You made those choices. I know, I whispered. I know, and I hate myself for it. I don't want you to hate yourself. I want you to learn from this. To understand that relationships require respect, boundaries, and consideration. I waited for you to choose me, and you never did. Not until it was too late. Is it? I asked desperately. Too late? He looked at me with sad, kind eyes. Yes, Maya, it is. 3 months later, Rachel approached my desk at work. I saw Ethan yesterday, she said carefully. He was at the art gallery opening. With a woman. They looked happy. My heart cracked, but I smiled. Good, he deserves to be happy. I meant it, through mutual friends. I learned her name was Emma, a landscape designer, kind, creative. I bumped into David at the grocery store. He mentioned that Emma actually listens when Ethan talks and respects his boundaries. Each detail was a knife twisting. I saw them once, at a restaurant where I was meeting clients. Ethan was laughing, really laughing. Emma was looking at him with obvious affection and respect. Our eyes met across the room. Ethan gave me a small, polite nod, not angry. Not hurt, just neutral. That hurt more than anything. I'd become someone he used to know. I excused myself and cried in the bathroom. My boss, Mr. Harrison, found me afterward. Heartbreak is a teacher, he said quietly. But only if you let it teach you instead of destroy you. He was right. I had a choice. 6 months later, I heard through mutual friends that Connor's life had imploded. His obsessive behavior hadn't stopped with me. He'd tried the same manipulation with a woman at his workplace. She reported him to HR. They investigated and found a pattern of inappropriate behavior with female colleagues. He was fired. After Sophie and I warned other friends about his manipulative tendencies, his social circle disappeared. He tried to reach out to me multiple times, angry, then apologetic, then desperate. I blocked him every time. The last I heard, he'd moved to another city, his reputation in ruins. I felt no satisfaction in his downfall. Just emptiness. His suffering didn't undo mine. It didn't bring Ethan back. It didn't erase my mistakes. Karma might punish the manipulator, but it doesn't undo the damage they caused. A year later, I sat in my new apartment. Smaller, cheaper, mine alone. I'd left the old place because every corner reminded me of what I'd lost. Therapy had helped. I'd rebuilt relationships with friends I neglected. Rachel had forgiven me. I'd apologized to Jessica, who'd been surprisingly kind. We all make mistakes, she'd said. The measure of a person is what they do after. I'd learned to set boundaries, to value them. I'd learned that loyalty to friends doesn't mean sacrificing relationships. That "don't be jealous" is often code for "I'm about to violate our relationship's trust." Most painfully, I'd learned that love is more than feeling, it's action, consideration, and choice, and I'd chosen wrong. I scrolled through social media and saw a photo. Ethan and Emma hiking. Her hand extended toward the camera, showing a simple, beautiful ring. Both of them grinning. I stared at it for a long time. Then I liked the photo and typed, "Congratulations. You deserve every happiness." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Then, "Thank you, Maya. I hope you're well." "I'm getting there," I replied, and I was. Not healed. I don't know if I'd ever fully heal from losing him, but I was. Learning, growing, becoming someone who wouldn't make the same mistakes again, someone who understood that the person who truly loves you deserves your protection, your consideration, and your loyalty especially. When someone else threatens that, I told him not to be jealous. After I shared a bed with my best friend, he didn't argue. He walked away, and he was right. 2, that's the truth I live with every day. The end.